speak in front of you, but still, well, it amazes me how in Kazakhstan we are in a desperate hunt and a desperate pressure and rush for when it comes to family making, completely skipping the part of family planning. It amazes me that our parents desperately want us to get married and to raise their grandchildren. Our story, my wedding story, is no exception. So today, let me share some embarrassing but also memorable moments from my story. So first, let me tell you how I met and how we decided to get married with my husband. Ooh. My husband, Yerzhan, some of you know him because he used to be an ATC member, and even he was an VP of membership, yes, here. Well, he visited ATC in February of 2016. It seems like a long time ago for some of you, but his visit to ATC was supposed to be a temporary harbor for him to make some new friends before his departure back to New York City. He actually even had a ticket and he was supposed to leave in October of 2016. But believe it or not, but in November of 2016, he took another plane to a new family, to a new role of a husband in our young family. Yeah, I'm not sure how we ended up to be in that position. We were, I believe, in a rush. Maybe he was even a little disoriented at that time. Maybe he even had a jet lag from his trip to New York City. But still, I hope that today he is completely happy with the choice he made. Of course. Well, now let me tell you how I met with his parents. Of course, I was nervous. My husband is from Taras. Yeah, I know. Good choice. Well, my husband might have some, I don't know, modern views about some aspects in our life nowadays, but his parents might not have. And I was ready, and I was preparing myself to show myself as a decent girl and an exemplary Kilinka. So the day has come. I entered the room. I put a smile on my face. I shyly lowered my eyes, because this is how you're supposed to look before your new relatives. But then when I looked at the crowd of 20 plus people, I couldn't see my new parents. Because there were so many of these people. Only when one of the women approached me and kissed on my forehead did I realize that was my new mom. And you know what? The most important moment and the most important part in that moment was that it was no turning back moment for both of us. Because our first ever meeting happened in our wedding day. Yeah, I know you might look startled, and I know that you're supposed to meet with parents before even deciding to get married, because you not only marry the person you are going to call a husband or a wife, but you're also going to marry his whole family. But believe it or not, I'm happy and I'm glad to say that we get along pretty well, considering the fact that we live miles apart from each other. Well, so now let me tell you how my parents got ready to this wedding. They were damn serious about it. I'm the firstborn in the family, hence the first to get married. That was an important moment for them. I think they've been preparing themselves for this moment for maybe past 5 to 10 years. They've been watching every wedding they went to, and there were a lot of them. Like what the bride did well, what tamada to hire, who to have, and what kind of occasions, what kind of celebration they want to have. So what they did when we announced to them that we want to get married is that they started to invite their friends to a dinner. They sat next to them, and they even had a special notebook for all the notes for the wedding day. And they started to interview these people, like all the important points to make sure that everything is done correctly. Because you don't want to lose a face before the new relatives. You want to know what kind of gifts you need to give them, because it's very damn important. And the most important moment for this wedding checklist was that we needed to decide who's going to be shortlisted to our final wedding guest list. Believe it or not, but out of these 150 people, I got to choose only 10 of them. And it was my wedding, by the way. Well, it might seem hilarious when you look back at all these embarrassing and awkward moments that we had. And I'm happy that it turned out to be well. But as any action movie production team, I strongly encourage you, and I need to put a disclaimer here. Please, don't ever try to repeat any actions or stories I mentioned here today. This may be a risky activity and may result in injuries and even death. Thank you.